Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Finding Joy, Love, Simcha on the Road Less Traveled. Previous year we discussed that sometimes a person, a rabbi, a giant, a leader takes a road less traveled where it's not the majority view. There's a pioneering spirit to do something that no one else has done. Think about in Eretz Yisrael the last 70 years. The early Rosh Yeshiva starting the idea of a Hesda Yeshiva. There's Rav Goldwich and KBY, Rav Schlesinger, Shalavim, Rav Lichtenstein in Gush. That was certainly a road less traveled. You could be sure how many people said, what is this? From both sides. Well, yeshivish world, criticism, you're being the 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, you should be sitting in the yeshiva learning. You're joining the army. What is that? And you can be sure many on the other side. Going to yeshiva, should be giving full time to the army now. And they went on the road less traveled. As Robert Forrest Fromes says. And that's what we have to do today. Not all. Many people simply their job is to follow like good soldiers, their rabbis and their leaders, and they may not have the ability to explore new roads. And their job is to follow the rabbis and their guides. And then you have those people who are Talmidei Chachamim who have dedicated their life to learning, 20, 30, 40 years of learning and teaching. And they have the ability to go and research and look into new topics. And Israel is always filled up with them, dealing with the Harabayit, Tcheles, which is an international issue, not an Israel issue. Dealing with Christians coming and supporting the Jews in Israel. And different rabbis are going to go on different paths, and some of them are going to go on the path less traveled and break new ground in this area. And there's going to be criticism and excommunications. They'll be ostracized. Rav Sachs, he quotes of Nachum Rabinovich, Rosh Yeshiva of Ma'ale Adumim. He says that Rav Rabinovich quoted a medrash by Noach. Noach waited for permission to leave the ark. And one of the Maram said, if I was on the ark, I would have smashed it down and gone out. And Rav Rabinovich says, what does it mean? It means once the flood was over, you don't need permission from God to rebuild the world. You go ahead and rebuild. So there's Rav Rabinovich's life's mission. Beautiful Birkas HaMoshe Ma'ale Adumim Yeshiva. And Rav Sachs took that message, and he has an amazing idea that he says regarding those who travel in the path less traveled. Listen to his words. They're so beautiful. In many cases, such is the fate of innovators. The people concerned had to face a barrage of criticism, disdain, opposition, or disregard. You have to be prepared to be lonely, at best misunderstood, at worst vilified and defamed. And quotes Einstein. Einstein said, if my theory of relativity is proven successful, Germany will claim me as a German, and France will declare me a citizen of the world. Should my theory prove untrue, France will say that I'm a German, and Germany will declare that I am a Jew. That's it. Person goes on the path less traveled. He has to prepare for everything, the worst. But if he's confident in views, then that's what he has to do. But a real challenge is when a person goes on that path and he's sincere and he's genuine, and people throw criticisms and names, they hail who knows what at him. He's able to go ahead and still be filled with love for Klal Yisrael. And he says, even though this one and this Shevet is criticizing me and that one's criticizing, I see the beauty in the Shevet. I understand why they're critical. I understand why they're nervous. I still have Avah. And that is an amazing, amazing job, to go ahead and develop oneself with clarity, with commitment, with understanding, disagree with others, be prepared when things are rained down upon him, and still go ahead and have Avos Yisrael and see the beauty in the Shvatim, even as you're going ahead and you're being critical about the Shvatim in this area, in that area, in that area. Personally, I know Medinat Yisrael, for me, the greatest bracha in 2,000 years. I'm convinced, I live and I breathe that. What do I think of all the Shvatim, the holy Shvatim that just don't see any bracha here, or minimal bracha, and that's not their relationship to it. Or even go so far as a Satmar and see it as a Klala. I think it's a tragedy, not to see the bracha missing the greatest show on earth. How do I view those Shvatim? With unbelievable love for all the beauty that the Shvatim have. Even on this area, and this is a big area, I disagree. Har HaBayit, just letting it sit 50 years, giving it to the Gentiles, let them rule over it, stay away from it, respectfully disagree with all the Shvatim that embrace that approach. I understand the concern and curries and abuse. I understand it all. But still, we just let it sit. God will let it sit too. I am afraid. But once again, tremendous love, Ava, for all the Shvatim, even where there's an area of disagreement. And that's what we must do. We must be prepared to be courageous, those of us who are prepared to learn and go through the sugya properly, to be courageous, to have our commitments, have our conclusions, act on them, be prepared for the assault, but still somehow muster up the love for Klal Yisrael. Shalom.